Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're just going to do another velocity banking review. In fact, we're going to do the same exercise as the last video because I plan to be the Bruce Lee of whatever I'm doing, which is, I don't know if you ever heard it. Basically, the saying is you just do one thing 10,000 times and you'll be a master of it. And so eventually we'll get to 10,000 videos. I'm like, dang, I'm like the Bruce Lee of this stuff now. So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you throw all of your money into debt with the help of a line of credit. So if I take a look here at my budget, my income is exactly the same as my expenses, and then my savings is zero. Now, let me ask you this. If you ask the average person, okay, the average person, if your income is the same as your expenses and you have a ton of debt, do you need to make more money? They'll be like, of course you need to make more money. And then what we're going to do is take the same income and expenses and redirect them so that we don't have to make more money. And so when we're in a situation where our savings is exactly zero, or what we call our leftover money, we're actually going to increase this by a multiple of. Actually, you can't if it's technically 0, anything times 0 will stay 0, so there's no multiple. We'll increase this by 2,000 something dollars. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to do velocity banking. Number 1 is we never save money, right? Whether you're, in the negative or in the positive, we just never save it, okay? And I'm gonna show you what I mean by not saving money. So you see here, this is my bank account. Even though I have money coming in, as soon as it comes in, it just goes into what we call into line of credit, which is essentially our debt management tool, aka our main operating account. And what we're going to do is have an idea called cash flow, and we're going to increase this cash flow by strategically moving some debt into the line of credit. And we're going to assume we have access to a $120,000 line of credit. Now, I know if some of you are new to this concept, you'll be like blown away, like the Home Alone face. It's going to be shocking, right? And you'll be wondering, like, who's going to give you a $120,000 basically credit card, right? And let me just show you here. I don't know, plenty of people. 280 right here. $280,000 in one line of credit. And so if you've ever heard of the term line of credit, think of credit card, right? So a line of credit is a financial tool where you could borrow money, pay it back, and use it over and over again. But unlike a credit card, okay, I can use this to pay anything. I felt like when I first got access to this, I was like, I felt like Thanos with that infinity glove. I can use it to do anything. People will come and do my bidding, right? I won't snap half the earth, I promise. Okay. All right, $280,000. And currently I have $579,000 in lines of credit. 579,000. 579,000. Now, how do you get the lines of credit? It's very easy, but it or simple, but it's not easy, okay? Banks don't lend money to people who need it. You got that? Banks don't lend money to people who need it. And the biggest problem that most people have is that they're waiting to go to a bank when they need money. And that's a no-no in the bank's eyes. If the bank had a list of their own version of the 10 commandments, the bank's 10 commandments, commandment number 1 would be you do not lend money to people who need it. That's it. Don't lend money to people who need it because people who need money are a big risk, and because the bank wants to make money, they want to minimize their risk, they don't lend money to people who need it. Okay, that's how I got over $579,000 in lines of credit. So let's assume that we have a $120,000 line of credit available for us to use free and clear, though this wouldn't happen at this stage of your life, right? You wouldn't get a fresh new one. This is just like, what if you did, right? And I've actually known one person who was actually saved by getting a free and clear line of credit when there were negative cash flow. It is possible. There's just only one exception to this that I'm aware of, but I'm not going to teach that here. All right. So, because even if you get, and the reason I don't is because even if you're able to get it, you still want a good foundation, right? You still want to understand, as a general rule, banks don't lend money to people who need it. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and do this. And I am going to move these credit card debts into the line of credit. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. And then it's $85,000 in credit card debt, $85,000 of credit card debt right here. And what we're going to do is essentially a balance transfer. And this is the part that's really dramatic and scary, where if I do 4 zeros because all the payments have gone away, we literally have gone from 0 to $2,740 of cash flow. Whoa, how did I do that? Must be a scam. Anyways, so the final step is now you get your entire paycheck, which is the $6,950, put it into the line of credit, and then you take your expenses out, and then you rinse and repeat over and over again, right? Rinse and repeat over and over again. We're going to show how that works. Paycheck in, expenses out. That's the final step of velocity banking. All right, so now what we're going to do is calculate the next month's balance, which is based on the previous month's balance and the previous month's interest. Okay. Yeah. So now what we're gonna do is take the average daily balance, to calculate the interest or estimate the interest, multiply by the interest rate, which is 8%. $6,000 for the month. No, you got to divide by 12. I'd have a heart attack if I had to pay $6,000 of interest on $80,000 home equity, technically a loan because a line of credit is a loan. All right, so now you see here, month 3. Oh, look at this, it's going down. And we started off broke as a joke. So now our debt is going down about $2,000 and includes the interest of the line of credit. Just do the math. Even if you don't understand it, just copy and paste the math, right? And whoa, look at that. That's so cool. Oh man. In fact, you want to know something? I don't really get excited too much about this because you'll get to a point where you know this so well. It's kind of like speaking your native language. Do you get excited about speaking your native language? Probably not, right? You'd be like, oh, it's just, everyday thing. But for someone who's learned this new, when they go from 0 to $2,740 in an instant, it's quite exciting. It'd be like mind blown. In fact, one of the things that I've noticed about this YouTube channel is that a lot of people watch and then they don't comment. It's crazy. Like you would not believe the watch time I have, even though I don't have that many subscribers, and I make the same video over and over again. I can't believe it. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. It's not butter. I seriously cannot believe it. All right, so let's go ahead and put in our milestones. So we did this in about 35 months. So let's go right here. So 35 months, and this is going to be 85K. All right, and then I'm going to do this right here, and let's go ahead and do this. And this is from yesterday because I literally did the same example yesterday. I got this loan calculator right here. I got this loan calculator for if you have these three factors: the balance, the interest rate, and the term. It spits out a payment amount. Microsoft has a function for that. Yeah, take a look at that. Isn't that cool? And then there's also a function to determine the current balance when you type in the month. And so since this is 35 months, right? Since this is 35 months, uh, what was my point? This is 35 months. These are the current balances of all the loans, and an easy way to figure out which ones we pay off is what we call something called a cash flow index. I'm not going to explain it here, but basically think of it as a ranking system, and the lower the number, that's the one you want to pay off because you get more bang for your buck for paying off that loan, right? So actually, let me just do this right here. Whoopsie. So I'm going to do this. All right. Copy and paste. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to sum it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these two loans, these two auto loans, into the line of credit so that we can get this much cash flow back in our life. So let's go ahead and do it. It's 18 grand. 18 grand. Okay. And so I'm going to do this right here. And I'm going to do this right here. And then it's going to be plus 18658.39. Okay. And now let's increase this cash flow by here, 0, these two auto loans, right? Look at that. And then now our cash flow is about $3,500. The cash just keeps on flowing, right? Remember the movie Dune? They were like, the cash must flow. Actually, they didn't say that in the movie Dune. I just made that up. 3.5 to 3.5. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then we're going to go ahead and, all right, 41 months. The two auto loans are paid off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll say about 3 months per car, right? Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. That's bigly. All right. So 41 months. And let's just type that here. And I'm going to do this. 41 months. And then this is going to be 85 plus 20 plus 22, which is going to be 127K. And do this. And then now let's go to the student loan at 41 months. So this is 0, 0, and then 41, 41. And then we see right here, we got 32 grand, 32 grand in the student loan. Now, one of the things that we want to kind of be aware of is if this cash flow index is a little bit high, let's say above 50, we want to take into account the interest rate. You take this one right here, 219, we definitely want to take into account. So why do I talk about this is because on the internet, there's a myth about how you should move every loan into a line of credit regardless of the interest rate. And this is very dangerous, especially with 30-year mortgages, because if you're moving a $200,000 loan at 3% into an 8% line of credit and there's not like that much cash flow, then you're going to end up paying a lot more interest than you need to, right? So take a look at this. I pay off the 32 grand to get $500. I got to pay $200,000 to get 927 in my life, right? I need this in my life. All right. So let's go ahead and move this one into the line of credit. Let's go ahead and do that. And then this is going to be plus 32539.1. And then now, okay, so now this is going to be 0, right? And we're going to move this. Wow, 4 grand of cash flow. Student loan company's not going to like this when I pay it off much quicker than they expect, especially because most of the student loans are owned by, I think, the federal government. Are they not? I don't know. All right, so let's see how much we pay and take a look at that. Okay, so go here, and then I'm just gonna, I want to see how much interest we pay, even though it's an 8% line of credit. And I'm just gonna do this. I want to sum it up. So $852 for that student loan, for that $30,000 student loan. Not bad. We could probably do better if we'd use what we call the chunking method. So what is the chunking method, and what we're at 49 months. 49 months. So this is 49. So what is the chunking method? Basically, all it means is you're taking a piece of the loan and moving it into the line of credit. And one of the cool things is that even if you're using that to pay off a 3% loan, it's really not going to make that much of a difference, right? Obviously, you want to take into account the interest rate. Like I would rather use an 8% line of credit to pay off a 3% loan than, let's say, a 30% credit card. But even if you use a 30% credit card, it's not as a big deal. And if your credit card has a lot of rewards points, then it's almost like using an 8% line of credit anyways, right? So might want to think about that. And plus, the credit card, the companies love it when you just use their card. So if you do chunking and you pay it off quickly, they'll be like, this guy has, was really responsible and has a lot of money. And so we got to make sure we get him to more debt than possible. That's why they raise their credit limits. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's the whole point of raising your credit limits, because if you're too responsible with your current limit, they want to make sure that they give you more than you can, a little bit more than you can handle. That's how balance transfer promotions work. I don't know if you knew that or not, right? Like if you get a 0% balance transfer promotion and it's like, whoa, you can transfer like $10,000 at 0% interest for like 12 months. That's their ultimate hook and sinker game, right? Like that's their end goal, is to carry a big balance. They don't care if you don't pay 0% for 12 months, but once they got you at the 12-month mark, they know you're not going to pay off that balance unless you know this strategy, right? All right. So back to my point here is that we can use what we call the chunking method, and we just take a small piece of the loan. So we'll use. I always like a rule of thumb. Just say use your paycheck as a amount to chunk. And again, you usually just do this last with the amortized loans anyways. $7,000. How long did it take us to pay off that 7,000, right? 2 months, okay? And then when we're doing the amortized loan, um, how much do we pay off? 20,000. So if it's like pay off 20,000 in 49 months, we're able to do it in 6 at this point, right? If you just multiply it like mm, the 7,000 times 3, right? 21,000. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, let me just pull out the velocity banking calculator. And yeah, I actually had this pre-filled in because I did this last time. So you just fill in the details, right? You just fill in the details, and well, blam, 3.6 years. And here's the thing: even if we use a 30% credit card, okay. Now I'm not saying do this with the 30% credit card. And why is it saying loading the workbook? All right, let me just do this. 30%. What the F? Oh my goodness. All right. 30%. Look at that. 30 what's the difference between a 30%? My goodness. 30% and 8% is just a couple of grand, and the time payoff is still the same. I'm assuming if you use a 30% credit card for this and you were doing this for 3.7 years and you were racking up points, it would almost be the same as an 8% line of credit. I might be wrong about that, but so again, um, yeah. So here's the thing, right? If you want to know where I got this calculator from and where I learned this crap, crap, I'll call it crap, BS, you know, did I get scammed? I don't know. If you want to know where I learned this from, I learned it from Renatus. So if you are interested in not only learning about Velocity Banking, again, it's an online educational company. I sell it. I'm a marketer. Okay, I'm a marketer, and you want to not only learn about this, but learn a little bit more about real estate investing, financial literacy. Click the Google form link below. Click the Google form link below. Give me the money. Give me the money. I get the commission, and then um, I'll be richer than rich because the banks know that I don't need money. That's why they give me these huge lines of credit. I know some of you don't want to buy from me because, a lot of people have this thing. Well, if you already have money, why should I buy from you? Because it's for well, I don't even say it's for your own good, right? But people who pay attention. That's the only reason why. All right. Well, that's it, folks. So let me go ahead and take this right here. Shocking, isn't it? How quickly we just pay off debt. And all I do is just ramble on and on because I've been doing this for so long. Was it 44? Oh, I didn't even do the student loan part. So 49 months, and it's 127 plus 220, no, 45, which is 172K. Okay. And then here it's 49 months plus 3.6 years, 49 divided by 12 plus 3.6, which is 7.7 years debt free. Oh my goodness. And then now this is zero. And look at all that money coming in. Ooh, no debts, no debts here. And then now we got about $5,000 a month saved. And it's like we're forced to save because all of our debts have been paid off. And it's just like easy street, rich people problems from there. In fact, it's so shocking. It's like the Home Alone shocked face. Don't you feel that? Don't you feel that? Oh man, I feel it. Well, not really, because I've been doing this so long, but you probably feel it. All right. This is Karina Lanta Mentorship. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.